Hi there. Yep, you're at Charlene's kitchen. We're gonna be making some pierogi today. Gotta get cooking. Well, good morning to you. Here we are in Charlene's kitchen. I thought I'd make a couple of pierogis today, and I'm not going to give you the full recipe. You can look that up on a previous video that I have for the fillings and the dough making. But today we're just going to whip up a few and have it for lunch. Why not, right? So here we go. I'm going to bring this down so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. I made my cheese filling, and so that's all ready, and the dough. And I do have it all on video if you want to try to make this. Okay, so we're going to move back a little bit more. I've got my pot of hot water all going, a little salted water, and here we go. Now this dough I have made about a few weeks ago, and I know that I did tell you that it does freeze nicely. So if you have dough left over, you can just freeze it. And when you have some leftover potatoes or a little meat pot roast or what have you, just grind that up real nice. Add a little cheese or spinach to your cheese recipe, and or just make a lot of people do add a little cheese. So look at that. In fact, sometimes the dough, at least my mother-in-law thought so. She used to tell me, Charlene, freeze the dough. It seems to even work better. So I'm going to get my little glass here that I cut with, and I'm going to do a little filling, and we'll see what happens. Yep. And here's the cheese. And now this cheese is, just farmer's cheese that I have to get at the Polish deli. Don't ask me why. They have tons of cheese at the Mariano's and Jewel from every imaginable spot of the world even. But they don't have farmer's cheese. Why, I have no idea. With all the Polish people in Mount Prospect. In fact, they say there's more people in Mount Prospect and Des Plaines, more Polish people than there are in Poland. I don't know about that. But anyway, so it's been said, So we gather our little dough and pinch it back like this, very, very nicely. Very nicely, with a little dimple in the middle. Is that thumb action. And there you are. And we'll put that on a little plate, of which I'm going to get right now. And so on. And the summer has been a very active one for me. I had a new pond redone and kept gardening and deadheading the flowers, And look at that. Is that nice? This dough is really amazing the way it does freeze. And she seemed to like it better after it. She said, I'll make it and then I freeze it. And it takes about a day. You pull it out and let it thaw. Put it in your refrigerator. Okay, and there we go. So we've got our little cheese pierogi today. And I'm making some potato. And I make it with Velveeta cheese. Butter and Velveeta cheese. And now this is the farmer's cheese one, and that I do add a little potato to it. And so we'll just keep going until we cook those up. Okay, so we've been moving along. We've been really moving along. The cheese are all done now, and now I'm working on the potato. And here we go. Now this is the little potato with cheddar and butter, and I had some golds that I used, and they're so nice, you know, those gold potatoes. I really like them. And there we are, see? So now we're gonna, I just use a glass. Everybody's got their own thing going, you know? And you do what's comfortable for you. And there we are. And now I'm gonna make the potato one. Just like that. Just like that. And always remember, easy with the flour. You can always add flour, like I'm doing here. But that's what makes them stick. See? That's what makes them stick. Pretty, huh? There we are. We're gonna just keep making our little potato pierogis now with cheddar cheese. I should say Velveeta. I use Velveeta. And you can use cheddar. You can put any kind of cheese. You can buy some cheese and just melt it into the potatoes. After they're nice and they're done, and I pour the water off, I salt them a little bit, mash them up, add my butter and my Velveeta. And there we are. So now we're going to put those right into our little pot here with the water. Let's see if I can get that. Well, I've got my the cheese pierogi plated up like this, and I've got my water coming to a boil. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Always remember to salt your water a little bit. Salt it up, about a good teaspoon or so. A little more or less doesn't really matter. And there we are. We just put them in there, huh? And they start floating to the top. When they're done, they just float to the top. They say, I'm done, I'm ready. So I'm going to just do this a little bit more. Got to keep its shape, you know. So there we are. So I put, and I make a plateful like this, and off we go. And so now this is with dough that I had left over, and I froze it. And now I'm going to get a good handful of pierogi. I'm sure I'll get at least, we'll see, maybe 20 of them. We'll see. If not, then not. And now we're going to just wait. We're going to make sure that they come up. They start floating up, and then we're going to put them in a little strainer and rinse them with cold water. After that, I just lay them out on the breadcrumbs. I sprinkle some breadcrumbs on a paper towel and let them sit on there. Coat them with a little breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, why? So that they don't stick when they freeze. Okay, when you put them in a bag and you want to freeze them. Because I always make my pierogi. Well, some, of course, I'm going to have. But if I have, you know, 20 or 30 or what have you, we just have enough for dinner, and then the rest I'll freeze it for another time. And so that's it. And they should be popping up pretty soon. I'm going to show you. There those pierogi are, floating on a little salted water. And they're going to start rising, and then I know they're ready. I'll be taking them out and putting them in my little strainer and into some cold water. And then after I rinse them, I lay them on some paper towels with little breadcrumbs. Those are the potatoes that I have already made. Just pan frying these up in butter and a little bit of onion, sliced really thin. And I'm going to plate those up. Okay, so we made those wonderful pierogi, sauteed them now in a little butter and onion, and here we go. Na zdrowie. Well, here they are, all plated up and looking delightful, right, with that little bit of onion. And I just browned them just a little bit. And we've got the potato here with the Velveeta cheese, and then we have our cheese and potato pierogi with that wonderful, wonderful farmer's cheese, an egg, a little sugar and salt. That's about it. And now we're going to have a taste test. What do you think? I wish you could be here with me, but I'm going to see how this tastes. I'll let you know. First of all, you know, I just love my onions. Mmm. Mm. Sauteed onions and butter. What could be better? There's a little pierogi with the cheese. Mm. Literally melts in your mouth. Now I'm going to try the potato with the Velveeta cheese. Mm. 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 It's delicious. I know it looks like a lot of work, but I'll tell you, I got about 55 pierogi that I made from I don't know, in an hour and a half, and I'm freezing 40 of them, 20 cheese and 20 of the potato for an event that's coming up. And then I gave some to my neighbor for a little treat. And now my husband and I are going to have some. So, you know, and then, as I said, you can freeze them, take a couple out just like anything else, and have them anytime you want. It's a delightful meal. Look up my recipe if it's a full recipe of how I start the dough, how I make the dough, how I make each filling. I think on that video I have potato, the cheese, and sauerkraut. So you'll get the idea, and make it your own. Enjoy. If you're so, na zdrowie.